What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the She Said No podcast. I'm your host, Marco G, aka the Six Scale Scoundrel, and I'm joined here by my beautiful co-host, Gigi. Gigi, say hi.
Hi.
Why were you doing that with your nose? Already derailing us.
I don't want to scratch it.
Gigi, episode 12.
Yeah. Let's get
Oh
through
my
this.
gosh. All right. You're already wilding here. Okay, so we got a packed show for you. It's going to be full of a lot of Hot Toys talk and just a lot of weird shit like we normally do. So, you looking forward to this one or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm feeling very unmotivated today, so I was like, hey, do you want to record it now rather than later? So maybe
Yeah.
by later I'll have a little bit motivation. Is anybody else feeling like unmotivated? Like this whole week, I think like I just don't want to work.
It's called a summer slump. You know, you're indoors working, you want to be outside. I don't know if that's really a term, but I'm going to go with it.
Mercury is in retrograde.
I never understood any of those. Anyways, so give us an update on your life. You had your first hearing. How did it go?
It went well, about 3.5 hours. We didn't finish, but luckily I think it went well. After the hearing, we asked opposing counsel if they would agree, like stipulate to an agreement, and they said that they couldn't because they'd had to ask their supervisor. So we're like, okay, let us know. Our hearing was on a Wednesday, I think. Was it Wednesday?
Was it Wednesday?
And so
Yeah.
I emailed them on Monday, and I get a reply email saying he's out of the office until August 1st, and my brief is due August 3rd. So if he agreed, I wouldn't have to write this brief, and that's why I'm like just dragging my legs. It's just the worst. It's the worst.
First of all, I didn't understand a word you said. Second of all, you're gonna have to speak up just a little bit so our audience can
How
hear
do you
you.
know?
Because I couldn't hear you. I'm sitting right across from you and I couldn't hear you. Anyways, so let's talk about, well, let me give an update on my life. Went to Comic-Con. That was fun. Didn't stay for, the full time, but 2 days. And yeah, really, I can check that one off the bucket list now. I will say way too many people for my liking, and I feel like I end up going to these big events like Coachella or Comic-Con, and it's fun in the moment, but I'm just get overwhelmed, having anxiety. So it was really cool, but I don't know if I'd do it again.
I
We'll
must
see.
say, can I say something?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so obviously while I'm the most stressed in my life, Marco's having the best time of his life at Comic-Con. But I was able to walk around after my hearing was over, and the costumes did not disappoint. I feel like we could go and not even like go inside. I mean, I don't know, obviously
Well, I
for
guess
you it was like seeing the
the Hot
pre-releases,
Toys
I don't
and
know.
all the show floor. I guess we benefit from having friends in San Diego that we could stay with, but I think it's just like the flights and the hotel rooms are so expensive. Just to go and not go in would be. I know people do it, but it wouldn't be financially
I thought walking
wise.
around was fun.
It was, yeah. No, I'm glad you were able to experience that.
Yeah.
What was your favorite costume you saw?
Ooh, I forget his name. The little prince.
Joffrey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was a little lady, right?
It was a lady. Yeah, she was awesome. And then she was accompanied by another tiny Jon Snow. Would you say they were shorter or taller than me?
The Joffrey was definitely shorter than you.
Okay.
It was a tiny little lady. Yeah, it was. That's what made it so perfect. So with a lot of big
great.
dick energy, but yeah. So Pancake looks absolutely horrifying when she pops up on camera, but
What are you talking about? She's a
you see her
beautiful
little
lady.
beady little eyes. Anyways, let's jump over to what's on tap. Gigi, what have you been watching, reading, playing, perhaps?
What We Do in the Shadows? Is that the name?
What We Do in the Shadows.
That's
yeah.
the best, Guillermo.
What do you like about that show?
Everything. It's so good. They're so good. Just everything. I love everything about it.
Okay. We also watched Stranger Things, right?
Oh, yeah.
What'd you think about this most recent season?
I thought we already talked about this.
We did, but I think the last episodes hadn't dropped yet.
Okay.
So, what'd you think of the end of the season overall?
So I don't know if I've already said this, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it blew my mind. Did I just say that?
No spoilers.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Who do you think I am? Yeah, it was amazing. I was pleasantly surprised.
Okay.
Sorry, I can't think words.
Blew your back out. Awesome.
Marco,
I'm
take
just
that out.
Okay, I will edit that one out. It's gonna be harder with video, but we'll see. Anyways, we also watched Umbrella Academy season 3.
Yeah.
What'd you
Oh
think
my
of that
God.
one? I know we watched a lot of
good.
stuff.
Yeah.
Still not the Hobbit M4 edit. We will get to that.
Oh,
But
yes.
yeah. Maybe this weekend, actually.
Sorry, that was a lot of words and you just kept going.
So what do you think of Umbrella Academy?
I liked it a lot too. Yeah.
You're being very descriptive. Oh my gosh.
I
You can't even remember.
No spoilers. I mean, I forgot that we hadn't talked about it.
All the new characters they introduced, like the time traveling stuff, which is obviously a staple of it. I think it starts pretty weak, and I was like, the first season was so good. This third season was just whatever, but by the end of it, it gets pretty crazy.
I feel like the actors are just so good that it's just very entertaining to watch.
Yeah, it's got a great cast for sure. Yeah. So I'd say definitely stick with it if you're an Umbrella Academy fan. We also watched The Boys, which we may have mentioned last time, but how'd you feel about this season overall?
I'm going to be honest, I kind of forgot what it was about this season.
Okay. Well, they were trying to kill Homelander.
Yeah, I was less interested in that. Out of all the three, I feel like that's the one I think
that
was interested in.
That was my favorite of all of them. Like, The Boys season 3 was incredible. One of the best, seasons of TV ever, in my opinion.
I was just whatever on that one.
Okay, you got to watch your patas because you're knocking stuff over here, but... All right, let's move over to Is It Weird? Okay, Gigi, and we'll get to the Hot Toys talk in a minute, but we got to go through the rigmarole here. So, Is It Weird to, and then what's our Is It Weird today?
I don't know. You didn't check with me.
Oh my gosh.
You said you'd remember.
And I don't. I didn't write it down.
I think we already talked about this one. I feel like this podcast is just a series. Like, if you watch all the Is It Weird, you just, like...
We keep mentioning the same things over and over.
We don't... Maybe we just hate each other. Is it weird to sleep in two separate beds when you travel?
I feel like we did this one already.
I feel like we did too.
Okay.
You were in charge of this one.
Yeah, damn it. And I wrote it down. I have Is It Weird, and then it says 2, and then nothing else after that. So
okay, I have another Is It Weird?
Okay, go for it.
We may have done this one already too. Is it weird to when you go fill your gas up to actually not fill it up all the way?
That was it. Okay. So is it weird to put in a set amount? So
not even a set amount, just fill it up.
Okay, so what I do is I knew before that my car was $25 to fill it up. I'd go talk to the guy inside. I'd wait till it's on 10 to 15 miles of range left, and then I'd go fill it up. I'm very weird when it comes to that.
Why? I just don't even understand.
I'm a risk taker.
You're already there. Just fill her up.
Anyway, so it's definitely doing double work, but I'll put $25. Now it's $35, and I just like the set amount. I know I'm going to the gas station. I know I'm going to put a set amount in.
It makes you go to the gas station twice. You're filling up essentially halfway, and then it's just going to give you another trip.
Maybe I just really like those guys. I like going to chat with them. I talk to them about soccer. We learn about his family. So they're my homies. But you also hate when I say homies too. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's another. Is it weird for another time? So
Is it weird? That's just I hate it.
Okay. Does Gigi hate? No. All right. So is it weird to put a set amount in your gas tank? So what do you do when you go?
I fill it up like a normal person.
Do you go inside though? You just put the card in the machine and then just fill it up?
Yeah, I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
Strictly business.
No, I get that. Okay, is it weird to put a set amount in your tank? All right. This show is off to a rocky start, but we're gonna get it on course here.
Your legs are touching me.
I know. I told you I'm sweating. I told you scoot the legs over that way, but all right. So we've got a new segment here, and it's called ¿Qué significa? I've been trying to brush up on my Spanish, get in touch with my roots here, and so Gigi and I will often listen to Spanish songs in the car, and I'll be like, okay, what does this mean? What are they saying? The stuff that I don't understand. And so there was one recently. We were listening to a Karol G song. And the song is called Mami, I think with 2 I's. And she says, Papa llame. So, ¿qué significa Papa llame?
I think I need the whole sentence. It's like you're cutting off.
No, you told me. You're like, write it down. We'll talk about it on the podcast.
Yeah, but that's not the whole Say it again.
Papa llame.
So, Papa, like dad?
Oh, I thought she was talking about potatoes. Yeah. I'm assuming she's talking about...
Llame is I don't know what the song you're talking about is, but she's probably saying Papi llame blank something.
She likely said papi and I just misunderstood. So what is it? What would that mean? Well,
that's not even a full sentence. So is it
papi tell me something?
No.
What is it? What is she saying?
Llame, call me.
Oh, yeah, okay.
That's why you cut off the sentence. Llame is already, papi ya me llamó. It's papi already called me, or llame, already.
Okay.
But you cut it off. Marco will do this like when it's actually very funny, and one of my favorite things that he does. He'll hear a Spanish like phrase or term, and he does this all the time where he cuts it off like at awkward, like, I think because sometimes
it's hard to process.
If they say it so fast, you think it's one word.
I definitely will
but
compound
it's
them.
Several words. Yeah. So this is gonna be a fun segment for me anyway.
Okay, so we're gonna have to go back, look at the lyrics, and figure out what the hell I'm even talking about. But so you're thinking she's telling her papi to call her?
No, llame is like llamarme is call, but I think you cut the sentence short.
I see.
It must be like papi ya me fui, like I already left.
Oh,
already.
I see. Okay.
Like you cut it off at a weird, like there's no context there. So
okay, that's
usual.
All right. Very good. Well, we'll keep these coming. Comment down below if you hated this segment or if you'd love to hear me struggle with my Spanish words, because it's very amusing to
Also,
Gigi for sure.
Que significa is your accent was placed in the wrong part.
Okay,
like,
how did I
mami.
say it? How did I say it, mami? How did I say it versus how you should say it?
I don't know. It was very quick, and I was already laughing, but it was like que significa.
I will say my allergies are really bad this
Very
week.
true.
My voice has been cracking all over the place.
Oh my god.
At the end of Collecting Weekly, you saw that end of that episode, right? My voice just cracked so bad.
Yeah, it's not a. I don't think that's the issue.
Okay, well, it's been
Your
a
accent is
real.
in a
Okay.
weird spot.
I'm gonna go with the excuse that I made up. So you heard it right there, right? Yeah, damn, I'm struggling this week. All right, so let's go to 1-6 words. Another new segment here. The rationale behind this, everyone kind of uses the same words, phrases to describe these 1-6 figures, right? So like the word phenomenal, which I know is a trigger word for Mario, but he still uses it. But he's like, everyone says phenomenal these days. So I want to try to introduce some new slang, some new words. And Gigi, you're going to tell me whether it's appropriate to use this to describe a 1-6 figure, either in any way, shape, or form.
This wasn't cleared with the talent, so I'm just gonna.
You never preview this, anyways. Okay, so the word that I'm going to introduce today is bussin'. Is it okay? So let me use it in a sentence. This Darth Vader release is bussin'. Is that acceptable to the jury?
I feel like we need like a 7-year-old to let us know, because funny that you use that word. I went to lunch with my friend this weekend, and her daughter was with us, and she's probably around 8, and she was like, oh my god, my friend was like, this pasta is really good. She was like, Mom, you have to say this pasta's bussin'.
Wow, so she corrected her. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's only used for food, but I think it could be used in other ways, and I'd love to appropriate it for one. Okay, so you hate it. It's cringe. Is it cringe?
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do this on a scale of 1 to 5, cringe. 5 being the worst.
I don't want to rate any more stuff. I'm going to cut you off right there. Go on.
Shut me down already. Okay, well, all right, we're throwing out bussin'. We'll try again next week. All right, so let's move on now to Gigi Judges. Okay, this one everyone's been waiting for here. We've had so many releases, and in pretty typical fashion, I'll ask you, hey, what do you think about it? Because, I'm watching these streams, I'm on them, and you will tell me, save it for the pod. So there's one specific one that I'm really, really curious to know how you feel. And you should shut me down. You said save it for the pod. So the first one we're going to talk about today is the Darth Vader from the ObiWan Kenobi show. Now, a little background from my collection here. I was holding off on getting a Darth Vader because I knew this one was coming up in the Obi show. I knew Hayden Christensen would be back. He would be reprising his role. So I was like, they might pull some trickery with like a head sculpt. I didn't really know what to expect, but I kind of figured it would be a bit more definitive than the Empire Strikes Back version, which I had heard had its issues. And so here's what they just announced. There's a special edition. We're not going to talk about the regular, but the special edition runs $330. And
bargain.
I know it really is a bargain, and is, in my opinion, an incredible figure. But I'm going to scroll through these. You tell me if you want me to stop at any point in time here. But he comes with Reva's lightsaber.
He kind of looks like his body is small compared to the head sculpt.
Well, Darth Vader has an oversized helmet. Like, that's just, it's a retro look, right?
Okay,
but
sure. But when I try to... I'm kidding.
I feel like with a lot of the modern stuff, you can criticize the costuming, but Darth Vader is just a classic character. You kind of just have to take him for what he is, right?
Okay, sure.
It's like a lot of it is goofy, but he's so scary and menacing in the movies that you just kind of... It's Darth Vader.
Okay.
Okay, so how do you feel about this cracked
I hate
helmet?
it. I hate
You
it.
hate it?
I hate it.
Really? Okay, talk to me. Tell me.
So, I think what I like about Darth Vader is that, like, God, this was a terrible day to do this because I can't think words. The fact that you don't really know what he looks like is, like,
He's got this incredible voice and you're not quite sure.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. I don't like this because oh wow,
It comes with battle damage.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
It's great value, honestly.
I think it takes away from his mysteriousness.
Okay.
So I don't like it. Also, I'm sure that's what it looks like in real life. But I think the first time I ever saw the Darth Vader's face, I was very disgusted. And like...
You're talking about Hayden Christensen from the prequels?
I don't know.
Okay.
It reminds me of like, God, maybe I'll come back in the comments and like say who he looks like to me. But it's like kind of goofy to me. Like I think this takes
in the
away...
original trilogy, are you saying when they unmask him?
I don't know.
Okay, you've got no idea what you're talking about. All right.
Yeah,
Pretty
just
standard
even
here.
this face, it kind of takes away. Like it kind of is goofy to me a little bit.
Okay.
It takes away from the mystery and also like the menacing
nature of
nature
the character. Okay.
of
Okay.
Darth Vader.
Got it.
I just keep your mask on. I don't want to see your face, type of thing.
Okay, well, I will just tell you, it's okay to be wrong, and in this instance, you're dead wrong, because this is an absolute banger of a release. There's one that gets used too often. It's absolute banger of a release, and I'm just so excited that they're giving us this damaged sculpt. Because look, they give you the regular version as well. You could have a classic-looking Vader, but you just got an alternate-looking display option, and I think that looks incredible right there. Like that's just a work of art, honestly. But you're not buying it.
It kind of reminds me, and I know this isn't what I'm thinking about, but it kind of reminds me, the floating head in Power Rangers.
Zordon?
Yeah.
It's not Zordon for sure. And Zordon could have been inspired by Darth Vader that we see in the original trilogy, honestly. But that's pretty funny that you say that.
Why do you sound like that?
Is my voice sounding
like
weird?
very
Or?
monotone.
I told you my
It's very
allergies are
funny
awful
that
right
you
now.
Say that. Okay, sorry.
Okay, Zordon though. All right.
Yeah,
so
I don't like it. It's just
okay.
I don't like it.
Let's just move on. And how about you rate it out of 10 pancakes?
Okay, hold on. I have
go ahead.
more
Yeah.
to
Oh,
say.
go off.
So I don't. Okay, the other thing, I guess I'd have to see other Vaders. $330 seems like a lot of money for this, to be honest.
Absolute bargain. Absolute bargain.
Okay. It just looks. I mean, it looks like the cheap like Target costume to me. You know what I mean?
You've gone too far now. You're going to be canceled.
And also, the thing that like if I look at this like again, I don't know how screen accurate this is because I don't know anyway. The piece, like his belt piece, whatever.
You're talking about his
is,
cod piece right here?
I hate that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely goofy, but that's the design of the character though. Yeah, it's definitely over.
Like that's
it looks
all
like,
I can look at.
It looks like a diaper, no
Yeah.
doubt about
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's
yeah,
Darth
yeah.
Vader. Come on, he's a classic character. So you got to get past that. Okay, so out of 10 pancakes, do you have any more to say about this?
No, that's it.
He's got a cape though. You love capes.
I know, but the fact that I can see his face, I can't get over that.
Wow. Okay.
Once you see it, I can't unsee it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So you're not going to be happy looking at this one in the
Yeah,
collection.
it actually makes my stomach hurt.
It makes your stomach hurt.
Like
Okay.
not in a good way either.
Wow. Okay. Well, we'll have
like
to keep that one out of sight for you when we're eating here in the game room / theater room. Okay. So, out of 10 pancakes, how many pancakes do you give us? 6 pancakes for arguably one of the best Hot Toys releases over the past few years.
I hate it.
Wow. Absolute hater. Okay. Well,
I'd
you're
rather
canceled.
just have like a regular Darth Vader. I
Okay.
get that it comes with the
Yeah,
other face. I
okay.
get that, but I can't go back. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
I just can't.
All right. It's okay to be wrong. So 6 pancakes, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. let's move on to the next one. I'm appalled, but you don't have to worry about quitting, luckily, because you will be canceled now.
Good.
So Darth Vader, 6 pancakes for Gigi. Dead wrong. But let's go over to his companion now. And this one, maybe you'll feel a bit differently. This is a very controversial figure. And you may know the reasons why, but we're going to talk about the ObiWan Kenobi from Kenobi. First of all right, so let me scroll through these, get your thoughts. Have you seen these pictures already?
I don't think so.
Okay. And you didn't really watch a lot of episodes of the show either.
Mm-hmm.
But you're familiar with the character. You've seen the
Yeah.
prequels, so you know. All right, so let's talk about the head sculpt. How do you feel about the sculpt
I
overall?
think it looks good. Again, I mean, maybe I'm not the... I mean, I'm never the right person to ask these questions, but I think that's what he looks like in my head. And I like the brow, like the...
Yeah, he's kind of got a furrowed brow
concerned
expression.
look.
Yeah,
I like that.
absolutely. Give him some additional expression. And he's got movable eyes, which I think is what's causing a lot of... Like, it kind of has a sunken in eye look. So that might be what's giving him some, uncanny valley effect there on the sculpt. I will say, having seen this one in person, so I was talking to some guys that were looking at it, and I was like, so what do you think about this? And they said, it looks awful. And I was like, really awful? Like, I think that it looks good enough that I would take it from Comic-Con and put it on my shelf today and be totally happy with it. But I know Hot Toys is going to make improvements because I think they've heard the community pretty loud and clear that they're not happy with this. Go ahead.
The portion from the nose up looks really good, and I think the portion from the nose down does not look good.
Does not look good. Yeah. It's just, there's something a little bit off. And it may be because he doesn't have an upper lip as well because of the beard. So there's something that they'll have to get tightened
Oh,
up.
that's cute.
Oh, okay. So this luckily you say that, because these particular accessories, and here's what I don't like them doing. They've put behind a limited time wall on Sideshow specifically. So basically you have 2 days and 18 hours to order this from Sideshow, and then you get that extra accessory. Now for me, you know that I like to go either overseas for my purchases or from domestic retailers that won't charge me tax and won't charge me shipping, because I like to save. I like to, have a little extra room in the budget for more figures. And so this gives me a lot of heartburn because I kind of want that box, and I want, it's basically Anakin's lightsaber, but is it worth me paying? It's going to be an additional tax plus shipping at the very least.
How much?
Let's say,
General,
to
rounded.
ship like a figure about this size, let's say about $25
How
to
much?
me.
I don't want to break down. Just tell me how much more.
No, I'm doing the
would it
math
be?
in my head.
Oh,
So
okay.
about $25 to me, and then our sales tax rate is like 8.5%. So let's just say like an additional $50, basically for that box and everything. That's $50 that could go towards another figure. So I don't like them doing that. I don't really want to support that precedent. I'm, conflicted whether I would order it from Sideshow or not. Of all the exclusives I've seen, that's probably the one that intrigues me the most in terms of exclusive accessory. But I think I'm not going to do it. I think I'm going to hold off. I'm going to miss out on the box. Maybe I'll see if my buddies will 3D print me one of those little boxes, and we can just, have my own, and then just wait till this guy comes out and wait to see if he goes on discount or if I can get him for no shipping, no sales tax.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is this character kind of like an Uncle Ben, where he's like he teaches?
He
He's a
is
teacher?
Uncle Ben.
Okay.
He's Obi-Wan.
Wow. Oh,
Well-
his name is Ben.
Ben
Yes.
Kenobi. Well, okay, he's Obi-Wan, but
Oh my
when you
God.
meet him in the OG trilogy, he's Ben Kenobi, right? That's how
Oh.
Luke knows him. So he's on this
Wow,
planet
so talented.
looking after Luke. You are talented, but you kind of
I
got
was
it wrong.
Uncle Ben from Spider-Man. Like,
Oh,
is he kinda like
Jesus.
that?
Yeah. Okay. All right. You shouldn't have said that. But, okay. So out of 10 pancakes, how do you feel about this one? Look at that rock
I
base
do
as
like
well.
that rock base. That's very neat.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think it's like awful. Again, this just looks like what I imagine he would look like.
Yeah.
So yeah, whatever.
Okay. So not whatever, though.
Oh.
Out of 10 pancakes, how many?
I like the rocks a lot, and normally I don't like these bases. Normally I'm like, ugh, don't even bother. I'm gonna say a 7.5.
7.5 pancakes. Okay. For Obi-Wan. Do you like the tailoring on the suit as well?
I do like it, but the bottom, I like this.
Mm-hmm.
I like him like this. It looks kind of weird without the like trench coat looking thing. I don't know
Got
what
it.
that's
Without the cloak or the
called.
yeah robe. Basically, it's basically a Jedi robe. Okay, so you don't like this standalone version?
It's
or the
okay.
standalone
I
look.
just
Okay.
prefer the other one.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. So 7.5 pancakes for Obi-Wan. Okay, you were a lot less critical of that one than I thought you would be, but I kind of think we're in the same wavelength there, where it's not. It looks decent, but people are upset. I will say though, there is a respectful way to express your displeasure with something, and so I think the community has learned if they make enough noise, Hot Toys or other companies will course correct, which I do appreciate. But I just want to make sure that we're always remaining respectful. We're voicing our opinion loudly, but not attacking the artist, not attacking the company, because that's never going to get us anywhere.
It's funny that you say that, because thinking about when I was like, ugh, Marco's gonna make me rate these things, and I was like, I don't want to like trash on somebody's like livelihood. So even as someone who doesn't, particularly feel a certain type of way if they fix it or not, I do have to agree with that.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Like, what your criticisms could be taken as being disrespectful to the artist.
Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate you having that, self-awareness, because I could definitely see that being the case. I think people enjoy when we're a little bit critical, but I want to make sure that we're not crossing that line ever, because there's a lot of hard work that gets put into these. But at the end of the day, they want our dollar, so they got to prove why they deserve it. Okay, so the next one we're going to talk about is the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man.
I'm so tired of these.
You're just tired of Spider-Man in general?
It looks the same. Oh, the base is different. I see.
Yeah, so this really large base comes with a premium price, though. It really does. So $445 for the deluxe version. Mm-hmm.
It comes with the toy and the base?
Exactly.
And what is the base made out of?
It'll be plastic.
Polyfiber?
Well, I don't even know. Yeah,
good.
I don't even know what that should mean, but it sounds good. I don't know that that's the case. I think it's just plastic.
Oh.
And so, okay, so let me get to the Tobey Maguire head sculpt, because you're probably going to be like, it looks like every other Spider-Man ever.
No, I have strong feelings about this. I hate it.
You hate it? Okay,
this.
Tell me why.
But again, not because the artist didn't do a good job.
Mm-hmm.
I think he did a great job. I just hate this man's face. Like,
you hate Tobey Maguire's face
how he
specifically.
looks.
Yeah, okay,
Yes.
okay. And how did you feel about him in the movie?
To say, I know. Yeah, I mean, he was lukewarm at best.
He's a goofy actor, though, so I could see how you, would not really enjoy him. But so you think that the head sculpt is good?
It looks
right?
good.
Okay.
It just, I wish it didn't look like him.
Wow, you could always keep the mask on,
Yeah,
that's an option too.
I feel like that about a lot of them, actually. Like, just keep the mask on.
Okay, but I'm in Hot Toys for the head sculpts,
I
really.
know.
So,
but I was looking at.
You got to talk towards the mic, though.
I know, I'm looking at something to see what I'm trying to remember.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be rude. I really hate. Okay, this is not the.
No, go ahead, go off.
Some of the head sculpts on your figures behind me, I don't.
Which one do you not like the most?
Well, that's what I was trying to look. Batman.
Okay. Well, he doesn't. He only has a little covered mouth, though, or uncovered mouth.
I know, and I hate it so much.
Who else?
The golden armor Wonder Woman.
Oh, you don't. You said that you liked that sculpt.
But
you changed your mind now.
No. I always said something was off, like she was looking off to the side. Anyway,
Okay.
I digress.
All right. So out of 10 pancakes, how many pancakes for this Spider-Man?
This. Like, ugh.
You hate this. Wow.
Why do we need another Spider-Man?
Yeah. Well, there's 3 Spider-Man in the movie. Come on. People want to have a display with all their Spider-Men
I get that.
to capture the Spider-Verse.
I mean, it's just another Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
The Sandman is cool. You
like the base, okay.
But if it's... I guess it just depends. If it looks plastic... it doesn't look plasticky here, but...
Hot Toys has normally pretty good paint applications. I will say that I saw the lizard... So they got a standalone lizard base that you can buy, by itself. It didn't look painted particularly great. Like, it looked a little bit cheesy and not Hot Toys quality in my opinion, but it's still a prototype.
I will say that I actually do like the base a lot, though.
Okay.
I think you guys were talking about on some stream about like when the movie came out and how they would like do Sandman and stuff like that. I think they actually did a really good job.
Okay.
And I actually really like this, minus Tobey Maguire's face.
Okay. Fair enough. Out of 10 pancakes, how many pancakes for the base?
For the base, yes. I'm gonna say an 8.5. I really
8.5
like it.
pancakes. Okay. And how do you feel about
It's
the price?
cool. I think it's big enough that it can justify that. I normally with bases I wouldn't say that, but this one looks pretty cool.
Wow. Okay.
Because it could be like a standalone piece, you know?
Okay. Fair enough. You're really surprising me today. We've been together a
what I
while,
do.
and you still will surprise me.
I will say that, remember before where I was like, well, if I was gonna collect something, I'd go big.
You go statues and stuff. Mm-hmm.
Well, that is the bust. Are those statues or no?
I think they're
they
technically
busts?
just considered busts. Yeah.
That is terrifying. Like, I would never want that in my home.
So she's talking
It's
about
so
the
weird.
Queen Studios, specifically the MCU busts that they had on display
And I think
at
you
Comic Con.
made like a short.
I did. I made a video of it. Check it out. You're going to be like, I get it. You were at Comic Con. My God, we've heard it. But I got some good videos of it. It's really pretty unsettling how realistic they are. They had Tom Holland, Doctor Strange, Loki, and Captain America. And yeah, they look incredible. I don't think that it wouldn't definitely be for me, but if I had a massive
How much are
house,
one
and
of those?
I want to say they're like, I don't know, well, I don't even want to guess because I don't have a sense, but they're not cheap for sure. They're a good investment. Okay, so 8.5 pancakes for the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. Let's finish up
the
GG
base.
Judges. Oh, so 8.5 for the base. What for the figure
Whatever.
then? Literally whatever. Just forget it. Give me the base and forget the
Yeah.
forget the
Because you
figure.
can just
Okay.
use any other Spider-Man, you know?
Okay, well I disagree with that, but you know what? I'm just gonna leave you on your opinion. Pancake is up and she's ready to party
Don't say
right now.
words.
All right, so the last GG Judges for today, and my voice is going. It is out of here.
I don't think I'm going to make it.
I don't think I am either. Is the Iron Man Mark III 2.0. Now, to give you a little background on this is, I believe, the third time they've released this figure. Not including the quarter scale, but they originally had plastic versions of Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Then they upgraded to die-cast, but there was a little bit smaller and less detailed. And now this is their third attempt at making, a real premium version of this Iron Man Mark III. Now, I'm going to so do you remember what Mark III is from?
No.
So this is from the original Iron Man movie, basically. So he's got the Mark 1 where he builds in the cave. He's got the Mark 2,
I'm
which
gonna
is...
stop you right there. Let's just...
Jesus.
Because none of that is going to mean anything to me,
Okay, I'm
to
just
be
giving you
honest.
some background.
It
and
doesn't
some,
matter.
And
I'm
some
not
for our
gonna-
audience as well, okay?
Okay, well, you can say that when you go discuss it.
What do you mean? I'm saying for the non-collectors that are watching right now.
I mean, it's just... For us non-collectors,
Mm-hmm.
it's just another another Iron Man. You know what I mean?
How dare you? Okay.
Like, no.
All right, so give me your thoughts. What do you feel about this guy overall?
I mean, it looks good. He looks shiny and sweaty.
He looks shiny and sweaty, okay. See, he's got the blood leaking down here.
What are those little hairs? Are they on his, actual face, or?
That's a good question. I think it's... I don't know if it's from the arc reactor. If you recall, the arc reactor was kind of making him sick.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's supposed to be that or if it's supposed to be baby hairs. It's hard for me to tell, honestly.
Okay, well, the head sculpt looks really good.
Okay.
I can smell his pores.
Yeah, he's a sweaty mess right there.
Yeah. It looks good. I just hate that they keep making Iron Mans because they just know that you're going to buy them.
Well, people love them. Okay, here's to give you a sense of, here was the Short King version before, and here's the upgraded height as well.
It's the same, just stretched out a little bit
No,
more.
it's not true though. There's a lot more detail. Their paint applications and their design of everything is really expanded. There's a special edition bonus. So again, if you order within the window, you get this crunched up helmet.
I mean, the only difference I really see is the back. the way that everything opens up. But realistically, are you gonna set it up in a way that you can see the back? Like, I feel like that doesn't really matter. You're gonna, you know what I mean?
I feel like you're extra sassy today, but you're right. No, well, let me find a picture that I can kind of.
First,
oh, go ahead.
I'm doing very well.
You've been holding back.
Thought.
Wow, yeah,
and now
I know.
I'm too sassy.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Okay. See, look at right there. You could pose them like this, and you could have all the stuff popped out, all the wrist stuff popped out, and just looking badass.
I just don't know. So this one's a little bit bigger, yeah?
What do you mean bigger? Bigger than the original version that they released.
How, in relation to the other Iron Man that you have, how...
He should be about the same height, actually. Okay. So like the Battle Damage 85, the Mark 46, the Mark 47 that I have, he should be about the same height.
The amount of rage that I felt when I saw this pop up.
This particular one. Okay.
Ridiculous.
Okay. But they're giving us a chance to get an upgraded version of a figure that I didn't really have a chance to get.
Marco, you have... How many Iron Men do you have now?
I've only have 3. And considering the sheer amount that they've released, 3 is like pretty controlled.
But it's, you know, like one of them you're like, okay, there's a little bit more gold. This one, it has the same amount of gold. Like...
No, come on, this is the Mark III. This is the classic.
The only
this is like
thing
the
is
first
like the pop-ups,
legit,
you know?
Yeah.
It's literally the only difference. And I don't think that that's going to really matter because the back is going to be facing the wall. So it just doesn't make sense to me.
Okay, well, agree to disagree. I think this is one of my favorite suits. This is one of the favorite movies of mine, honestly. And so, I think it looks terrific, honestly. I'm really glad that they're giving us additional Iron Man, additional opportunities to get these suits that are upgraded that I may have missed out on as a semi-new collector. So,
okay, can I ask a question?
Yes, of course. Ask all your questions.
How many Iron Men are enough Iron Men?
No Iron Men are enough Iron Men. You got to give all the Iron Men. Because think about how sweet it'd look if you just had a hall of armor, just all the different suits.
Okay, let's move on.
It's pissing you off or what?
Move on. It is.
Okay. Out of 10 pancakes, how many pancakes for this Iron Man?
I mean, the head sculpt looks really good.
Okay. Take the emotion out of it. Breathe through your nose.
I mean, the suit, honestly, other than like the pop outs, I don't see like any difference. That's my honest opinion.
No difference from what I already have.
Other than like the popping. I mean, can you pop other stuff out or no?
Can you pop that pussy? No, you can't.
Marco.
What?
No.
What?
You pause it right there and
okay, I'll remove it. Okay. I'll bleep it out. Don't worry. Why do you have offense with that word specifically?
Marco.
Anyways, let's move on. So, out of 10 pancakes, how many pancakes?
9.
9 pancakes. Okay. That really took the wind out of your sails.
Yes.
You were really not happy about that.
Rude like that.
I wasn't being rude. I was trying to be funny. Maybe you think I'm being cringe, but
Stop.
I was trying to be funny.
Just go.
Okay, so let's shift over to a more earnest conversation. We're very joking here, but I do want to have this earnest conversation. I'm going to let you lead this because I get very awkward when I talk about like sincere stuff. So you do a better job at talking about things that are sincere. Our topic of the show is the Black Panther Forever, or Wakanda Forever trailer. I think it's been pretty universally beloved. I think a lot of people are rightly saying this is one of the best things we've even seen from Phase 4. And it's just a trailer. So an incredible amount of hype for the movie. Gigi, what were your thoughts watching the trailer for the first time?
It was really cool. I don't know that I got like emotional. Obviously, I can't remember because I don't think I have any feeling left after. Knowing
you probably watched it minimized on your computer with the volume off. Some weird
not
shit.
Off,
okay.
But I had it. Actually, the first time I saw it, it probably was off. I'm not sure.
Just come on, you missed one of the best parts.
No.
The music of the trailer.
No. I heard it, and it wasn't until you pointed out the way that one song stops and then the other one.
Got it, how they transition to
Yeah,
Kendrick.
that was really cool. Mm-hmm. I think I thought maybe it was just the same song all throughout. I don't know. I don't pay attention to those things. It was really cool to see. I think the one part that I was kind of cracking up is the little boy. So like, Nandor?
Namor. Nandor is from What We Do in the Shadows. Guillermo.
Namor's little boy self. That is what Marco looked like when he was a kid.
His little brown love handles.
So cute. So adorable. Yeah, it's
Can I go as Namor, but specifically the child version
yeah.
for Halloween? Okay.
Yeah. I thought it was really cool. Everything looked amazing. Yeah, I'm very excited for this movie.
Okay, and then you watched the
I
panel,
didn't get
right?
emotional, obviously.
You didn't
but
get emotional watching
I
the trailer.
didn't.
Okay, I feel like you're alone on that because I definitely teared up
Yeah, no,
thinking,
I
and
understand.
we were in a room full of people, and I was like, God, that hit me. And then everyone was like, run it back, play it again. It was just such a
Yeah,
beautifully done trailer.
I understand why and
Yeah.
stuff, but
I will say that when Chadwick passed, I got way more emotional than I thought I would.
Yeah.
I think it just hit all of us, and you realize how important he is to our culture and just to people that follow comic book movies. But these comic book movies are so like pervasive now, and everyone likes them. That he's just like such a cultural icon, and was so important to so many people that it just was kind of a killer loss. And so, so watching the trailer, kind of them showing the aftermath of all that, it just seems, oh man, I'm not ready. I'm not ready to receive
I mean,
this.
I definitely, when I saw that he had passed, I definitely felt like I got like the wind knocked out of me, like when I saw that, just because of like how, I mean, any passing is sad, but like just, I was just, that time I did like get emotional, but I don't think, and maybe it was just like I was so exhausted that I just didn't get like emotional. I got emotional during the Comic-Con, what do you call that?
The panel.
The panel.
That was what I was in a transition to. So Lael was, I was on his show on Collectors International, and he was like, you've got to go watch that panel. It's incredible. And so I would say like having Ryan Coogler come out, who's our boy, like freaking love Ryan Coogler, him talking about Chadwick and, kind of still feeling his spirit, and then it transitioning. So I'll let you talk about the rest of it.
No, go ahead.
So it transitioning from bringing out, the, predominantly female cast initially, was already like an emotional moment. And then they start bringing out these Latino actors, which I didn't really expect to have this emotional reaction, but like I started ugly crying just kind of out of nowhere. Like it just hit me. And I think in those moments you kind of realize like how important representation is. And Gigi and I have been kind of talking back and forth so much about the trailer, about the movie, and how excited we are, and trying to analyze like why it hit me specifically so emotionally versus how it hit her so emotionally. So maybe tell a bit about like how emotional you got during that panel and why you feel that it's important to you, and then maybe I'll talk a bit about why it's important to me.
So I think the actor Tenoch, he's been in a few other films that are like Sin Nombre, some Spanish films, and I think he's like behind this movement. Even so, he's Mexican, and even in Mexico, there's a lot of like colorism, and so like in novelas, they have like a lot of light-skinned people. And they always the natives or like the more olive complexion are always like I mean, you can kind of see it in the novelas, and those are things that were like not really like super present. I didn't really notice that when I was growing up, but I also know that I'm very white passing, and so I know that I've always had that privilege. Funny enough, when I was a kid, I hated that I was very light-skinned. Like, I hated that I was, like, look like this. I wanted to be very brown. And it was something, I mean, like, the opposite. I always thought, like, brown skin was beautiful.
Me kind of growing up the opposite with, like, a mother who's very light-skinned and, like, a dad who's darker skinned. Like, I wanted to be more like my mom's side of the family, have light eyes, have light skin, so... It's just funny, like, you're never happy with what you got.
Well, I think for me, it was always, like... So, the reason I mentioned, like, Tenoch is part of this movement, and I can't remember. It's, like, something prieto, which means dark. And so he talks about all of this, like, in Mexican film and, like, novelas and things like that, how people who are darker complexion are not treated the same. And so which I think is like awesome that he was, part of this before he became, he became an MCU character. So that for me was really important. And for me, I think one of the main reasons is like when I was growing up, there's even within like our culture, if you're light skinned, like you're not Mexican enough or you're not this enough. And I think that kind of goes, it's prevalent, I think, in a lot of cultures, just not, not only just like Hispanic culture. So that's why I was like, I would always be told like, oh, you're like Spaniard, and I was like, no, I would hate, and that was a big reason when I was a kid. I was like, I'm never gonna go to Spain. Like I hated that part, and just because like my skin color was so like, it just, that was something that was always pointed out to me. Like I have, like green eyes and I'm light skinned, and so it's just something that was kind of always like, I always had it in the back of my head, like, oh, I'm not this enough. So I think for one, that's why I really, really got emotional. Like the fact that, he has an accent, and he talked a little bit about like his upbringing. He said, he's like from the hood, and like then he changed over to Spanish. And I think that's when I got like kind of emotional, because that is so important to have that representation. And, just like, I think for kids to kind of see people who look like them on screen is really important. So that's why I said, like, in novelas, it's always like, light-skinned people, light-skinned Mexicans or Hispanics. And so I think that is really important. So yeah, and the fact that, so one thing that I was talking to Marco about is, everybody's like, well, is he Mayan? Is he Aztec? Well, I think that's like the same with Wakanda, right? It's just like this magical place that they kind of took, like a little bit from, from these other cultures in Africa. And so I think it's kind of the same thing. Like there's,
which is so smart to do, right? Because like Aztec is like predominantly Mexican. Mayan has some crossover with South America, right? So like he could represent so many cultures, not just Mexico, not just, anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, and he actually learned Mayan, which I thought was really cool. The other thing that I thought was really cool from the trailer is that, and I think the character initially, right, even the original character in the MCU was half human and half Atlantean.
Atlantean, yeah.
And so what I was telling Marco, I was like, well, it's, with all of our, a lot of cultures in the world who have been colonized, it's like, well, Namor's half human and half, this other indigenous Atlantean. And I was like, it kind of represents like a lot of our cultures, right? We're not just natives. In Mexico, it's not just natives. Like we all have like a little bit of mixture in our blood.
That's the thing. It's such a nuanced conversation, right? It's like,
yeah.
we're all the same tribe, right? Like we all have roots going back so many years. And so do you remember what the name of, they've changed it from Atlantis, which I know people are going to be pissed off about, but it's like now one of the hidden cities that's maybe in like either Mayan or Aztec. I think it is Aztec culture. But anyway, so basically they've changed the name from Atlantis. Again, people will be upset, but I think just like they did with Wakanda, they said, well, everyone was searching for El Dorado, right? The city of gold. It's actually Wakanda. And so I think it's really similar here. So at a baseline level, let me just say like why I got emotional. I think just seeing someone that looked like me was important to me. So that was just awesome to see. And then I will just say that it's like so smart from a corporate level, right? Like they could have just made it Atlantis. They're probably like, we don't want to have crossover with Aquaman, so let's kind of distinguish it. So that's one reason to do it alone. But then to also like have this representation from a financial perspective, it's so smart because people will want to go see people that look like them on screen. We've seen it with Coco. We saw it with the first Black Panther. I think this movie's going to break all the records, right? Like people are, if it's great, and I have really high hopes that it will be, I think it's going to just crush because representation is not only important, but it's like financially savvy too. So I just really applaud Ryan Coogler and like Disney for going this route. Although it may be for financial decisions or to distinguish themselves from other properties, I think it was the right call at the end of the day. And people will be upset, but I think, again, it was the savvy move.
And I think that's why it's so important, not even just the cast, right? But the director is a black man. Is he from Sacramento?
So he played football here.
Okay.
He's from the Bay Area, I think, but he played,
which is really cool.
He played football at Sac State. So yeah, he's our boy here.
But I think it's just like so important to have, people of color in spaces like that, because like I think like right where we were been saying, like they didn't have to do that. They didn't have to introduce like him or what's his name again? Sorry, I keep forgetting.
Namor. I want to say Neymar, who's a soccer, but Namor.
I just want to call him Tenoch because that's the name of the actor. That's how I've been referring him. Sorry. But yeah, just like having, like, I think that was amazing. And so, yeah, that's, sorry, I can't.
No, I think you're right though, because, they could easily introduce it and do it in a very like Tolkien way and like have him be a stereotypical character, which I'm hoping they won't do. And I'm hoping with the talent they have, that's not going to be the case. And so like we just have like too many stereotypes. Normally, I mean, he's on Narcos, right? And so I haven't seen the Mexico season, but like, okay, well, it deals with the cartel. So obviously that's a Mexican story there. So to see like a Mexican or Latino superhero is just so awesome. And last thing, because I know you have a lot more to say, I will say we already saw America Chavez, and when she was speaking Spanish at the start of Multiverse of Madness, like it kind of gave me chills. Like, and again, someone who struggles with their Spanish, someone who's more Chicano than obviously Gigi is, but it's still very important to me to see that representation, and I loved it when she called Doctor Strange Este Way. I was like, oh man, I'm all in on this character.
And then I think another like cool concept about that things like this do for people is that I think it makes people want to know a little bit more where they came from. And so right, like I think that's true with all cultures, and I think that's really cool because I think it sparks kind of like, oh, I wonder where, like, because you start looking at the maps, right? Like, oh, where would this city be on the map? And it's like, oh,
True.
well, my family might be from, I may have like,
yeah.
I think that's really cool. Like I know the Aztecs and the Mayans were a really big thing when I was growing up, like just like the history of them. So going back and having, I think I saw somebody say like, oh, of course, like, funny that you said like not stereotypical. Somebody was saying that it was stereotypical to have a Hispanic hero being like a native like this. But I think, I mean, people are always going to be offended one way or another.
No doubt.
And I think that it's beautiful because I think if anything, it will kind of make you look back into that history. And obviously, there were some very gruesome things, but
yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think it's just kind of cool because I think for the younger generation, it will kind of, for some, I think it will kind of propel that thought process.
No doubt. And of course, people will always be outraged one way or the other. And I know speaking with somebody who's someone in your family, he was a little upset. He's like, well, why is he the bad guy? Why is he the villain? I was like, first, he's an anti-hero. Second, when you think he's kind of like our T'Challa, right? When T'Challa was introduced in Civil War, he was kind of an anti-hero in that movie. Like he was kind of cutting through, angry, just not really caring about the collateral damage. So just because he's introduced one way, I think you could still like have empathy for why he would feel a certain way. This is all speculation, obviously. I don't know the plot of the movie, and then ultimately he could still be, introduced into the rotation of the heroes, even if he's an anti-hero initially. So that's kind of where I'm at. I just, just so over the moon and just so freaking excited to see this movie. Man, November cannot get here quick enough for sure. Will we be seeing it on day one?
Yeah.
Okay. This is one, because Gigi loves the MCU movies of all the, the pop culture stuff. She's like, oh, because they're funny, we'll go see it day one. She saw Thor day one with me, but what was the other one you missed? We saw Thor, we saw No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, because you've been so busy. So, yeah, this one definitely will be at the theater day one. If we can get tickets, this is going to be a tough one to get.
He's so hot, oh my God.
That was the other thing I wanted to say.
He's on my list.
Yeah, immediately she texted me, he's on the list. Wow, all right.
Just, I think
he's on my list too, by the way.
Yeah, like when I was like, oh my God, I want
Don't
more.
Don't do this.
What?
It's off-putting. Like you're like rubbing his chest? What the?
Ew.
I'm joking, go ahead.
You're not funny. Like,
y'all ain't funny.
I'm done.
No, go ahead. Go ahead and say what you were saying.
I'm good.
No, come on. I want to hear your topic.
Remember when I was like, Marco, you're so annoying, and you're like, tell me when I've been annoying. This is you're being
this
annoying.
Is me being annoying.
Yes.
Okay, anyways, I was just trying to spark it up.
I'm done.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
I'm done.
Okay, well, that's it then.
Play with me like that again.
We had gone too long for being too sincere, and I had to, mix in a little bit of levity.
Okay, I'm done.
Okay, well,
2 words.
If you call the shots. All right, so Gigi, what do we have coming up on the channel?
I don't know.
You don't know. Yeah, you never know. So I will say Bargain Bin Bros started that series, intend to do a lot of these figures that were announced for the summer showcase. Also, Gigi and I should be doing a collection outlook video for Black Panther, because I know she was like, if they make a Namor, or maybe you said, what's that guy's name? But if they make a Namor, that's one you're going to have to get for sure. So she doesn't say that often.
With the
but,
headdress?
Oh, yeah. They got to do a deluxe of that. So
Yeah.
it has to happen. Okay, so normally she's not excited for figures, so we will definitely be doing that. So stay tuned to our channel. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment down below about any of the topics we talked about. Specifically, is it weird though? I want to know what you do at the gas pump. And subscribe to this channel if I haven't said it already. We've been hitting some good milestones, and try not to be cringe when I talk about it, but it's important to say, allegedly. So, all right, Gigi, anything else to say?
No.
Wow, okay. With that, do you want to take us out?
Bye.